Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Elise here of Plan with Elise, and today is one of my favorite setup videos of the year because today we are going to be setting up my budget planner for 2026. I have the Keleva Plan Undated Budget Planner here. I'll link it in the description of the video, and I'm going to keep the same cover and discs. These discs are plastic, which I've never had a problem with having the plastic discs. If I decide, I could always switch them over to metal, but I don't know that I'm going to need to do that. So for the name page, because this is already decorated, I wanted to go more minimal here. And I have Keleva Plans Alpha Basics Volume 2, and we're just going to add my name. I did order, this is going to sound crazy, I do have custom name stickers that I ordered from Planner Kate before the customs went on hold, and I can't find them. I'm not sure where they are. There's a crazy amount of stuff in my office right now with planner setup season, and I'm not sure where they are, but I'm never going to, not have a need for things with my name on it. So it's fine that I can't find them right now. All right, so we have, first up, this is your year. Then we have annual financial goals. I'm actually going to make a separate financial goal page. So this is either not going to get used or it's going to get covered up. This is the planner that I probably change the most around in because I have other ways that I like to do things for my budget planner. So one thing that I should say leading into this, I kind of took a break for most of 2025 in my budget planner because when James moved in, I had a hard time figuring out how to utilize my budget planner now that we're sharing expenses. I wouldn't say we have joined, our money is joint because we're not married, but there are certain expenses that we share. There's others that we don't. So for yearly recurring expenses, to be honest with you, my only yearly recurring expense is going to be my Amazon Prime membership. So I think that I'm going to cover up the yearly recurring expenses part. I just have to figure out the way that I want to do it. I think we're going to just kind of change the title on this. So I'm going to take some sticker paper and trim it. I would expect this to be a longer video, so you may want to note that. Obviously, before you see the video, you can see how, before you watch it, you can see how long it is. But I purposely waited to film this video on a morning, today's Sunday, that I wasn't limited by time because I knew that there were going to be a lot of like steps to this video and it would end up being one of my longer ones. So I'm just doing a bit of a rough cover up using my Uniball Signo because I don't think that this paper, actually, that's silly. Why don't I just use my correction tape? Maybe I'm not using my correction tape because it's not working. Come on. Oh, this is not what I needed this morning. I was so ready to like come in and film a successful video. Okay, I should have a backup. I do have a backup. I always have a backup. This one, I don't even know what this is. Office Depot. Interesting. I think this may have been in like a table mate gift at a planner conference or something because I don't have an Office Depot near me. That rolls pretty nicely. Okay. Then, so instead of making this yearly recurring expenses, I want to focus on 2026. Some of these things are going to actually be yearly recurring, but some of them are not. So we're going to kind of use it as a what's coming up each month that's going to require a change in my budget. That's how I look at these pages. And as I start to write in it, it will it'll make more sense. Okay, so now I can title this whatever I want. So we're going to do 20. I do have a printable in my Etsy shop that basically is this page, but without a specific date. And I think it's called Annual Expenses, which I did actually print out to use in this video, but I decided that because this is a little bit, it's already in here, it would just be easier to use what's here. I hope this is enough space. I think it should be EXP EN S E and S. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a dot marker. You could use a bullet point sticker, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to proceed with adding things that I anticipate are going to cost money, just because when I'm setting my budget each month, I want to know what's going to be coming up so that I can prepare for it. So just kind of brainstorming right now. Let me start there. So March, I'm going to have my future sister-in-law's bridal shower, James's sister. I also have one of my friend's son's birthdays. I usually buy my friends' kids birthday gifts. It's also my brother's birthday, but I feel like we're kind of past the point of buying each other birthday gifts. In April, we have James's birthday. It's 40th. I'm having trouble writing that. James's birth. That's fine. And then we'll also have a bachelorette party. In May, we have the wedding. And then also Mother's Day. Okay. June, I don't have anything I can think of right now. Oh, you know what? I thought of another one in May. May is going to be beach badges. So in New Jersey and probably some other states too. I know not all states. You have to pay to get on the beach, and in May, Memorial Day weekend, we get our beach badges. July, I'm going to put two things down for July. One is my nephew's birthday. And then my bachelorette will likely be in July. And I'm sure there's just going to be expenses that come with that for me. And then we also have, I'm just going to write French trip. James and some of his childhood friends were all going on a couple's 40th trip together because they're all turning 40. I am not turning 40. I have until 2027, but they don't. So that's supposed to be in July. Let me just scoot this because it'll be easier to write. August. We have our wedding. And again, there's expenses. And my niece's birthday. And then also my godson's birthday. Okay. September, I don't anticipate anything. James and I don't know yet when we're going to go on a honeymoon. We may wait until December because both of our jobs are closed between Christmas and New Year's. So we may take advantage of that week off and just take an extra week of PTO, but we're not sure yet. So that may be something that comes up. We're getting married August 28th. So we'll see how we want to handle that. And then October, we have my mom's birthday. And another friend's son's birthday. Other ways you can use this page besides just birthdays are, again, expenses, things that are going to cost money, like I have included here. But if you have an annual bill, like a car registration renewal or something like that, that's the stuff that you're going to want to put in here. Any annual memberships, that's what's going to be really important in this space. And then December, you also could put like back to school shopping. If you do back to school shopping in July or August, you could put something like that here. And then December, we have one more birthday. And then, of course, holiday shopping. And I'm just going to write holiday shopping as an overall. I was going to say like we spent money on our Christmas tree, stuff like that, but I'm just going to write holidays. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so I think that's a good starter. It definitely doesn't include everything. There's also some things I've already prepared for, like James's older sister's birthday is in January. I've already bought her gift, so that's set. Things like that that are already prepped that I don't need to include because it's not going to be part of my budget because it's already there. So those are 2026 kind of overall expenses. Next up, we have the yearly bill tracker. So the way that this yearly bill tracker works is you'll have the bill due, whether it's auto pay or not, the due date, date paid, and amount paid. I'm not going to use these pages. I think that they're great pages. Again, there's just some things when it comes to my budget that I prefer to set up a little bit differently. So I think what I want to do, if I pull, you know what, where these will be helpful for me or my credit. I don't know. I'm undecided about these. I'm not going to make a final decision about how I'm going to handle these yet because I'm undecided. So the next thing that I want to do is take out anything else that's not applicable to me. So I'm going to take out the pay in 4 tracker, and on the back has the debt tracker. Then we have another page of debt tracker, and this is retirement savings. I'm going to pop this out. Another is donations, and then a line page. I track donations a different way on a spreadsheet, so I'm going to do that differently. So now we have these pages, subscription, but I'm going to add some other pages in here for myself. So I've had an Etsy shop since 2020 of printables. They have, I have budget printables, reading printables, goal setting, all different kinds of printables. And I'm going to be updating it this month. Hope my goal is before this video goes up. If you're a Patreon member and you're getting early access to this video, they may not be up yet. But I like this monthly bill tracker. This was actually the first printable I ever made. It looked a little bit different and it was called Did I Pay That Bill? Which was something that I had created just in my planner and then shifted it over, and that's what inspired my Etsy shop. I like this because I can just mark off when I've paid a bill because I often forget if I've paid it or not. I will say I got into quite the fight with my paper trimmer. So these pages that I printed out are very crooked throughout. I have 3 different paper trimmers and I used the heavy duty one for most of these, but I have another because I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on cutting printables. So what I'm going to do here is go through and add my bills. So on the first, I have my mortgage and my HOA. And my mortgage is 3577.96. My HOA is 450. Then on the third, I have an Amazon credit card. The rewards for Amazon credit cards are really good. It's between like 5 and 7% cash back on certain things, and it's just really good for a lot of the spending that I do. Then I have my car lease, and that is for 21. Next up, we have my business credit card. That is the 13th. And I'm not writing amounts in the credit cards because that's going to change every month. Then on the 15th, I have my car insurance. That doesn't change. Then on the 16th, I have my internet for my home. The 17th is my cell phone bill. I was so sad when I moved into my house that Verizon wasn't available as an internet provider here because I loved having Verizon internet. Optimum, I don't love their internet, but I don't have a choice. Then I need, excuse me, on the 18th is PSENG, which is our electric here in New Jersey. This is a variable, so that's not going to change. Then on the 20th, I have a Capital One personal. So I write P for personal, B for business, and that's a variable, so that we're not going to put an amount in. Then I have, um, sorry, I put these down on the side because I wanted to make sure that I didn't make mistakes. I have one more credit card here. I know that there's a lot of credit cards. They're all paid off in full every month, so I'm not carrying debt, which is really important to me. And then finally, on the 30th, we have my dental insurance. My health insurance is paid by my job. Even though I switched to a 4-day week, I work enough hours so that my health insurance is still covered, but it's my dental insurance that I pay for. So as of now, these are my bills. The subscription trackers, the monthly subscriptions, these are also really helpful if you have monthly subscriptions for apps or streaming services or something like that. So now that we have the monthly bill tracker in, what I want to do here is oops, I have these top tab dividers. I can't remember if these are from Live Love Posh or another shop. I think they may be from another shop on Etsy. I'll look it up and link them. But I want to do a little bit of separation here. So let's see how I want to do this. I think that we're going to put this down. And then I usually like to have my bills in their own tracker section just so that I can really easily know, like, it's right here. I don't have to flip through anything else. So now I want to come through and add some of the other things that I printed out from my Etsy shop. And again, I'm going to remind you, there's a disaster when it came to printing and cutting them all out. You can see here, this is like such a mess, but I'll go through and like cut and clean it up later like this. Well, I should really just do this right now. It was also a matter of, do I want to continue to waste paper and ink? And I just didn't have it in me to continue to waste paper and ink when I'm okay with the fact that they don't look perfect. So this is one of the savings goal trackers. You can see because the way I cut it, it's crooked. I really like these savings goal trackers because I find them really visual. So I have a focused savings goal next year, and this one is going to be, I'm going to write hair and makeup. So I'm going to be paying for the hair and makeup for my bridesmaids. And the goal is $3,600. The start date will be January 1st. And the deadline is August 28th. Now, I don't remember how many circles are in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So what's 3,600 divided by 50? Of course, I don't have a calculator near me, so we're gonna use my computer calculator, and I'm not smart enough in math to figure out that number. So let's do that here. 3,600 divided by 50. It'll be $72 each. That's so nice that it's even. So each circle that I fill in will be worth $72. And I can just use like a color to color this in. And every time I make a contribution, I'll be set. So I really like that part. Okay, what's the next one that I want to include here? Let's see. Oh, here's a couple of things that I'm excited about. So I do have another subscription tracker that I did print out. I have no problem using this one, except that I don't really have quarterly, but I do think this one's a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to use that one. So there's a couple of other things that I printed out that I want to use this year. One of them I had created a few years ago and I haven't used it in a while, but because I have a lot of savings goals this year, I want to use it again. This is called the Extra 5 Challenge. I have an Extra 5 Challenge and also an Extra 1 Challenge. And the idea is that every time I spend money, I move $5 into savings. So this is so crooked. I'm just going to stop talking about how crooked these are since I've explained why and then just be fine with it. If I go to the grocery store, whatever I spend, $5 gets transferred over. If I go to the dollar store and spend $1.07, $5 gets transferred over. This serves two purposes. I don't do it when I pay a bill. Let me just say that. It's only money that I'm choosing to spend. This serves two purposes. Number one, you hit savings goals much faster because you are transferring money on a regular basis. I spend money more days than not every day, but more days than not. And so let's say you spend 20 times in a week, that's $100, or $20 if you use the $1 challenge. The other purpose that this serves is it helps control impulse spending, because if you commit to doing something like this, when I'm shopping online and I see a deal, right? Oh my goodness, this is only, I don't know, $23. Well, wait a second. Now it's $28, because if I buy this thing, I'm committing to spending $5 extra or one to transfer over to savings. And it helps rethink decisions a little bit, because sometimes that $5 really does make an impact. Now, yes, out of the $5 you're spending on that purchase, it is going into savings, so it is for a future version of yourself. But I've used this before, and it really does help manage the impulse spending. The next one that I'm using this year for the first time, and I'm really excited, and this is a new item to my shop. Let me just trim this properly. This is a spending tracker. I really want to be mindful of how I spend money in 2026, more so than I have been in 2025. So I had an idea to create basically my year in pixels, but as a spending tracker. And what we're going to do here is create some codes. So this is going to be a no spend. Now, I anticipate seeing a couple of different ways of using this. We're going to add colors to these so that you know what's what. But let's say a no spend can be blue. I also recommend using a pen or marker that you have near you that you see yourself not throwing away, because you're going to want to reference those colors. So I think there's two different ways to use this. Number one is dollar amount. You could put 0 to 50, 50 to 100, whatever your typical spending is. And again, I don't count bills as part of this. This is just extra spending. You could put different dollar amounts here and track what dollar amounts you're spending each day. I want to track habitual spending. So I'm going to add in a couple of these. I may come up with more ideas over time, but this is where I'm at for now. I think my bullet point markers are actually downstairs, most of them, my zebra ones. So we can just draw a bullet point. So that will be no spend. This will be impulse spend, because green is like go. Impulse spend. This will be planned purchase. And like a planned purchase would be, I'd call grocery shopping a planned purchase. If I was saving up for something and I knew I was going to need to buy it, planned purchase. Something that's not just, oh, I saw this online, let me click and shop, that kind of thing. So no spend, impulse spend, planned purchase, and then I don't know how to phrase this. I'm thinking like unplanned but important. Not everything that's unplanned for is an impulse spend. So I think I'm just going to write unplanned. And I'm explaining to you what it means. So hopefully that helps. I think that's it. Now, one of the things that come up with any Year in Pixels type of tracker is what do you do when you have a day that falls into multiple ones? This is why I didn't want to do a dollar amount spending and I wanted to do habitual spending or habit based. So if I had a day where I made an impulse purchase and a planned purchase, I would use impulse purchase. My focus here is really seeing how much I'm impulsively spending or how often I'm impulsively spending. And that's why I'm going to do green. So really blue would always be on its own because that's a no spend except for bills. But any other day that multiple of these are in here, I'm going to always prioritize color coding the one that I wish I did differently, which is usually going to be the impulse spend. So I hope that that makes sense. I feel like I'm having a little bit of trouble explaining it, even though in my brain it makes perfect sense, but hopefully you get it. I'm going to work on our lighting here because I see the sun is waking up, peeking through, and I don't want to annoy you with the lighting. All right, I think we're fixed there. The next thing that I'm going to add in is categorized monthly spending. I really want to commit this year, next year, to being, like I said, being more mindful of my spending. And I want to track how much I'm spending in certain categories every month. It's not going to be every category, but certain ones. And again, this is available in my shop. So the first one I'm going to write is groceries. You could also print these double-sided. I did not, but you could. Then we're going to do restaurants. And then one that I think a lot of people may be able to relate to who are watching this video is planner supplies. I do get a ton of planner supplies sent to me as a creator, which I'm very grateful for, but there's also stuff that I purchased myself. I equated it recently to being able to like go to the store and pick out things for yourself versus someone else picking them out for you. It's part of my job to have someone pick them out for me, but there are things I see online that I really want. And most of the time they're very small shops because I work with most of the big brands in our community. And I really love being able to support those very small shops. Like here's an example. I just happen to have it next to me. I had shopped from Scribble Prints Co. during Cyber Week. And these are just like people who are creating product, you know, in their home one by one by hand. And I just really like being able to support these small shops, but I also want to be mindful of how much I'm spending. Our final one is going to be our PSE&G, which is the electric and gas in New Jersey. So prior to James moving in, I had been on an equal payment plan where it's the same amount every month, no matter how much usage you have. That was calculated based on my first year of living here, so June 2023 to June 2024. However, the next year, it went up drastically and I had to pay a huge difference because it was one person here versus two people here. And so I asked James what he would prefer, if he wanted to continue on the equal payment plan and we would know what the amount was every month, or just pay it as it comes. And he wanted to do pay it as it comes, which is fine by me as well. So I still budget an average amount, but because we're splitting it, it's a little bit easier. So that is the monthly spending. So those are the 4 categories that I'm going to do. You may have different categories that work for you better, but this is what works for me. So there we are with our opening pages. The next one I want to do is flip over to the monthly. Do I not have monthly divider tab stickers? Did I not think about this next step? I feel like we have them in a million different sticker books, right? Like I have to have them here. Let me see. I need probably a dating. Oh, I think I found it. Let's see. I have the dates here by Mojo Jojo Plans, and this should have. These are going to be on paper though. I feel like I need clear. I need my Hell of a Plan one. That's what I need. I have Dated Basics Volume 5 here by Hell of a Plan, and this has the monthly clear tab stickers. So scoot this over. What a mess I'm making today. And we'll pop January. There we go. February. Now, this is an undated planner, so I am going to have to go in and date the monthlies. Don't worry, we're not going to do that today. That tends to be something that I call like a couch project, where I'm sitting on my couch watching a show and I just do that, because the only thing I think that's worse than watching someone on YouTube put down dates for multiple months. I know that when I do my monthly spreads, I have to put down dates because of how I decorate them. But just sitting there, putting them down, the only thing worse than watching it is doing it and trying to make it somewhat entertaining. But I feel like we're about to get to that point with this as well. So I'll stop at 6 months. I'll stop at June, and then we'll get back to the other setup situations. But this is a really great dating sticker book to get your dates in for an undated planner. All right, now that we are through, let's get this open. So you have the monthly budget here. We have this month, and then you have a monthly expense tracker and your weekly budget. And then at the end is the 30-day savings challenge. I'm going to shift things a little bit differently. So we have month income, variable expenses. Actually, I printed out some of my Etsy printables for this. Oh, I forgot about one important tracker. We'll go back to that momentarily. So I have a monthly budget here. It's not that different from this one. There's only so many ways to do this. The one area that I have in mind that's not in this one is savings. And I would use savings over debt because I don't have debt. But to be honest with you, it's just going to be easier to use this because it's already in the planner. So we're going to keep that. Then what I am going to change though, well, I'm going to add, I'm not changing. So one item that I have cleaned up in my shop is my paycheck budget tracker. And I actually printed this out on sticker paper just because I was getting so frustrated with the other paper trimmer not working well. So we're going to see if this one will work okay. It does. It's just not perfect. Wow, I'm not doing this well. So in the past, over the past several years, most of my budget planner videos were using my own printables to set up my perfect budget planner. Kelva has done a really great job at creating a budget planner that I don't need to add a lot to. And while it's an amazing thing, you know at this point that Heather's one of my best friends. I also still have things in my shop that, work for me and that are part of my business by selling those. So some of these, as I was looking through my Etsy shop to prep for this video, I was like, well, that works, but I don't really need it because the same page is in the Kelva one. So we're not adding in as many of mine as usual, but we are going to add some in. Now, I know that there is a separate Kelva paycheck. Oh, this is not going to work. This is the issue I'm having with the paper trimmer. There is a separate Kelva budget by paycheck insert. I know it's sold out and then it was back in stock, so I'm not sure if it's available right now or not, but this should fit now. Okay, so if you don't have a punch or you just don't like punching like me, you can print things out on sticker paper and let's do it this way. This way I have a good base here. And just put the full sheet right down. I have some more that I need to trim off, but now I've got a really nice sturdy piece here. And this is going to serve as my individual every paycheck budget. A lot doesn't change from me from paycheck to paycheck the way that I budget. So I do have another idea that I may want to laminate this and add in any changes that I would need to make. So with the paycheck budget, the idea is that you will highlight or underline the week of the pay, what your income was, what expenses I'm budgeting for that paycheck only, savings for that paycheck only. Debt is in here just because it's a printable in my shop, so it makes more sense to have debt in there because a lot of people need that. And then the bills, because what I do is I break down each of my bills by how many paydays I have until they're due. So my mortgage, which is due on the 1st, I have 4 paydays. I'm paid weekly. I basically split that bill into 4. I am going to do a January budget video, and we're going to see how these budget videos go throughout the year. So I'm not doing a lot of this now, but I will be doing a January budget planner setup video. So I have these printed out, but given the issues I'm having with cutting right now, I'm going to put the rest of them in off camera. And then we have the weekly budget. I don't remember if this said weekly budget last year, but the way that I'll use this is a spending tracker. So each day, if I spend money, I will put it down and then I categorize it. So if I do a bullet point or a highlight of green may be what I spend in the house. Blue may be what I spend on my car, like gas. Pink could be planned with a lease spending. So we'll track it, but I'll show you that when we do our January setup. I think the only thing left here is that final page that I mentioned I forgot to put in. And this is a very important page, so I really don't want to forget. And this is my hexagon tracker. This is actually a new and revamped version where I made the hexagons a different size and I changed their orientation. So This one is also on sticker paper, so I can trim it a little bit differently because I'm not going to need the margin. Most of my printables, if not all, come in classic, big, and mini size and cut margins or cut marks so that you can cut them easily. You just need a good paper trimmer, which is not what I have. As not to waste stuff, I'm just going to come in with this because this is one of the pages that I'm not using, and just cover up the like darker elements. This is a mess. Okay, I don't know that I recommend this. If I went slowly and methodically, it's a little bit better, but it's not perfect. All right, then let's see where I'm at. I'm pretty good. Okay, so let me come back to my tracking. This will go at the end. And the hexagon tracker was also one of my original products in my Etsy shop, where I used a stencil back in the day to create this in my planner, but now I have the printable version. All right. And then just a little bit we need to trim off. I promise printables are not this scary. I just seem to be struggling with it this time, which is not ideal as someone who has a shop for printables. I have taken a little bit of a step back from my Etsy shop. I haven't added a new listing in a very long time besides what I'm adding for these videos, because it's really the amount of time that goes into it versus the payout, if I'm being completely transparent. It makes more sense for me if I need to spend 2 hours, working on Etsy stuff. It really makes more sense for me to spend those 2 hours working on a YouTube video or Patreon stuff or something for a brand, because my printables, or all printables, are really inexpensive. So it's just doesn't make sense to spend as much time on it. Okay, this is one of my most important pages that I make, or that I put in my budget planner each year. And this is my retirement savings. So I actually removed the word savings from it also because I didn't love the way that it was lined up. And this is going to be for my Roth IRA retirement contributions. I don't have a 401k at my job, so saving for retirement is entirely on me, and this tracker helps me do it. And I did something a little bit differently in 2026 than how I've done it in the past. So normally I would do a monthly retirement contribution and transfer it into my retirement account. But I opened up a high yield savings account a couple of years ago with Ally. I really like Ally. And I was earning more interest, like earning interest, not paying interest. Oh, I don't think I have enough room here. Okay, let's peel these up and we'll talk about it. So I was earning more money in my savings account than in my retirement account. And I asked my accountant and my tax advisor, not my tax advisor, my retirement account advisor, if there was any benefit to paying monthly, like contributing monthly versus annually, and they said no. They both said no. So what I did in 2026 was I still transferred the money over into my savings account, my high yield savings account, every month, so that each month it was growing and earning me more and more money. And then in December, I moved it all into the retirement account. So while it was sitting in my savings account, it was earning interest. One thing to be mindful of if you want to do something like that is you just need to really make sure not to use the money for anything else because it is dedicated for retirement. It's just kind of sitting in that account in the meantime. So retirement, my max contribution for 2026 is $7,000. There are 70, I cut this off too much. There are 100, not 70. There are 100 hexagons. So each of these will be worth $70 because 70 times 100 is 7,000. So each of these is worth 70. And let's choose a color. I love coloring these in, and I need to choose a color now to use for 2026. So let's do blue. I don't think I've ever used this blue for this before. And I like using my zebra brush pens because these are mild liner brush. It's just a nice soft line with this thick brush. Okay, there we go. We may be all set for now. I feel like this was a little bit of a messier video than in the past, and I really didn't mean for it to be. Oh no, we're not finished. I forgot about my financial goals page. So I'm gonna clean this all up so I'm not all over the place, and then we'll finish up with that. Before we dive into financial goals, I actually want to talk about something I'm adding into this planner that I'm most excited about, and that is savings challenges from my newest book. This is the Cash Stash Activity Book for tight budgets, and it comes out on January 13th. It is available right now for pre-order. And if you pre-order, you can also fill out a form from my publisher where they will mail you 5 challenges ahead of time so that you can get started right now. So this is a little bit smaller than the planner, but it has perforated pages. And what I've done is pulled out a few different challenges that I'm going to want to include in this. And my idea is that I can do like one per month. So I pulled it out, and then I'm just going to use my Happy Planner punch and punch here. It's going to come down a little bit at the bottom, but it fits really nicely in this planner. So this is really fun. We have ones for each season that'll help you save $225. So this is the Hello Winter Challenge. And then I wanted to use one of my money affirmation challenges. This one is for $75. Pop that in. And you can add them also in your monthly, which I think would be really good. I'll probably do that once I get to like start using this, but putting it in the monthly will really help. And then this is a $100 savings challenge. So all of the savings challenges in this book are between, I think, 26 and maybe 500, 750, no, 1,000, 1,040. From $26 to $1,040. So they add up over time, but I'm really excited about this new book. This is the second book in my series. It is less expensive. It's only $9.99, but this is the original book that you can see the difference in size. This one is $14.99, but it's been on sale lately, and this one has challenges up to $10,000. So now we have 2 books in the series, and it's going to be really fun to add these in to my budget planning for the new year. I don't typically do a dedicated video just for financial goals, but I'm really recommitting to reaching financial goals in 2026. And so I wanted to create a page for it because I've been thinking about it and I have some ideas. So this is just doc grid paper from Live Love Posh. I have numeric essentials from Mojo Jojo Plans here. And let's figure out how I want to do this. Remember where the O's are. The O's are in front. No, those, not those O's. That's not what I wanted. 2, O, 2. Running out of these big 2s. I like these 2s. 202. I actually did pick up a second copy of this sticker book from Black Friday, so I'm excited for that. I don't need it yet, but I feel like it's one of those kind of essential sticker books. I'm also thinking, now that I'm starting this, that I may want to do some budget stickers in here. I wasn't really thinking like decorative stickers, but maybe I'll take a look at what I have. 2026. And then while we have Alpha Basics out, we may as well use it. Actually, I feel like I should pull out the sticker book that I want to use first so that I can maybe choose a color instead of just using black. Before we go decorative, I pulled out Autumn Shapes by Mojo Jojo Plans because I want to create a, not necessarily a stencil, but a traceable element. I have a hexagon sticker here and I'm going to put it on cardboard because cardboard is going to be nice and thick and sturdy versus just cutting this out and putting it on sticker paper. So I did this recently, but I think I tossed the stencil that I made. I feel like I can't call this a stencil because stencil you usually use the inside, but I guess this is kind of a stencil. It's something traceable. And then we have, let me just cut here too. We have something nice and sturdy and a little bit raised. That's really going to help when I'm trying to do this. So now I can shift this over. Then let me come back to colors. So I pulled out Live Love Posh Budget Babe, and I really liked these. I just felt like they were kind of elegant and pretty looking. So I think I'm still going to stick with black letters. I could use the green, but I think we're just going to keep the black ones. So FINANCIAL. We have 9 letters, FININ. So I want my second N to be in the middle. Then we can do C, I, A, and L. Also, in between the first part and this part, I uploaded like the first set of clips just to get them out of my, phone and kind of recharge my phone a little bit. I was like, oh, we're at 45 minutes and we're not even finished yet. But I knew this was going to be a longer one. Financial. There we go. And then let's see if I can do a different font just to change up the style. Something like this. GOALS. Perfect. So A is going to be in the middle. L and S. O. I love the idea of setting annual goals. I'll be doing that, of course. But I think there's something really nice about the fact that if there's a category you really want to focus on, setting those goals, setting up separate pages just for those goals. I feel like that sounds weird. Those goals, just a strange way to say it. Okay, let's pop this in here. We'll trim off the excess. And then I like this one, Budget, Thrive, Repeat. I wanted to angle it the other way, but because of the words, I didn't want to lose those words. I don't really need a ton of decorative stickers here. I just thought, why not? And then we can do this cute little mug here. Add in some cash, because why not? And I feel like I need one more thing on the left side. Maybe more cash. Okay, that's good. Now, I also just thought of one other thing that I wanted to include in this video, but we're really gonna have to see how I'm doing with timing. So I'm gonna use this now, and it's just so easy when you have a really firm like stencil surface. You could also, if you don't want to deal with the dots, you could use, of course, blank paper. You could put this on stickers and cut them out. I did that recently for a Patreon custom spread, but for now, we're just gonna, not for now, for this, we're just going to use these because it's not bothering me this way. And I'll do this side and then we'll start to fill them in. And then let's do one more. I love a good hexagon. It's probably one of my favorite shapes to include in my planner. All right. Now for these, I'm going to use something a little bolder. We're going to use a Zebra Click Art pen. And the first thing I'm going to write down is save. $10% of income. Every week when I'm paid from my job, I want to transfer 10% into savings. I also want to transfer 10% of all of my Plan with Elise income into savings. It's a little bit harder sometimes with Plan with Elise income because I'm paid in such random ways with so many different sources of income. And I also have to put aside 30 to 40% of that for taxes. But I think that saving 10% of the income is definitely doable. We're going to write max out Roth IRA. I love this pen. It's so like thick. Just, I don't usually use like markers like this in my planner. Okay, max out Roth IRA contributions. The next thing is 3 no spend days per week. Again, whoops, bills don't count. Bills are pre-committed, like bills are things you committed to spending already. What would be another financial goal that I want to achieve? Another is going to be increase my income. So 2025 has been a really interesting year for me income-wise. Let me back up a little bit to 2023. 2023 was a really incredible year for Plan with Elise. I reached an income goal that I never thought I would be able to reach. And then 2024, I still reached a really great goal, but it was lower than 2023. And I don't say blamed it, but I figured it was because of my life changes. From the time I started my business to 2024, the beginning of 2024, I was focused entirely on my business because I didn't really have much else going on. Yes, I saw my family and my friends, but I wasn't in a relationship and I just had a lot more time. 2024, January was when I met James. And so my income in 2024 went down a little bit because I was spending less time in my office and more time out there living my life. And I was fine with that. That was okay by me. 2025 was the year that I shifted to a 4-day work week at my job in August or September. So I took a 20% pay cut at my job so that I could focus more on my business. But just around the time that that happened was also when we got engaged. So a lot of my days off ended up being focused on wedding planning. And out of the Fridays that I've had off for the last few months, I'd say that maybe a quarter of them I've been able to really focus on the business, but a lot of times other things have just taken up my time and priorities, and that's okay. So, my plan with the lease income is actually going to have decreased again, so lower than 2024. So, in 2023, it was the highest. 2024, it went down. 2025, it's definitely going down again. Today is December 7th when I'm filming this video, and I know where I'm at so far. And while I do have a goal of what I'd like to reach, I know that it's not going to hit last year's revenue, and that's okay. I think that there's a few reasons. I think that a lot of people are being more mindful of how we're spending. In case you're curious of how someone like me earns money, there's a few different things I'll talk about quickly and then we'll get back to this. So, I earn money from YouTube ads. My YouTube revenue has been down a lot this year, and I'm not entirely, my views are the same. I think it's just due to YouTube's changes. So I earn money from YouTube ads. I earn money from people who join my Patreon, of course. When you shop using my affiliate links for any brands that I have affiliate links for, including stuff on Amazon, I earn a commission on that. On Amazon, it's so low, it's like 1%. But other places, it's a little bit higher. So if you make a purchase, every dollar adds up. I have brands that I work with who pay me to create content for them, like Clever Fox and Zebra and some other brands. What else? Of course, I wrote my second book this year, so I have that here. I can show you if you are looking to save more money in 2026. This comes out January 13th. So, of course, I earn money by being an author. Where else? My Etsy shop, can't forget that. And I think that's pretty much it. But overall, it's like 36 different things when you add in like Live Love Posh, Caliber Plan, Mojo Jojo Plans, like all of those types of stuff, every brand that I work with. So most of my revenue, I will say, is dependent on people choosing to, I don't say help me earn that revenue, but when you choose to use someone's affiliate link, you're you're helping their income. When you choose to watch someone's YouTube video, when you choose to join someone's Patreon. So most of my income comes from my subscribers, my community versus brands. So I think that that changed a bit this year because as more people are becoming creators, I understand you want to spread the love. Maybe you've been using my affiliate link for 5 years and you're like, you know what? I've used Elise's, let me support this new person. So I think that also has something to do with the changes there. Okay. Anyway, other financial goals. Um, I'm going to write discuss our marital finances. I know some couples who, the moment they get married, join everything. I know some couples who keep something separate and join certain things. There's a million different options out there for how we are going to handle our marital finances. And James and I just need to have that conversation and figure out what works best for us. I have a friend who has been married for 25 years and she and her husband just never combined things. They both contribute to bills and stuff, but they never combine them. So we'll come up with a decision and discussion about how we're going to do that. The next thing is going to be sell my Peloton bike. I'm not using it. I have other plans, but in the meantime, I'd like to see if I can sell it. There's also a lot of other things that I would like to sell. I have a big challenge with that because as someone who is sent product for free, there's certain things that I just no longer want, but I can't really sell because I didn't buy the product. So that's where Patreon destashes come in. Every couple of months, I mail out a ton of Patreon boxes filled with planner stuff. And that's really nice because they just pay shipping. And so, but I wish for increasing my income, I could sell more. I just don't really think that I can. So, other financial goals, I had mentioned my savings goal when we set up the planner. So, save $3,600 for hair and makeup. Okay, I also want to say something before anyone gives me an opinion about this because I know that in a lot of wedding parties, the bride does not cover hair and makeup. Um, Out of my wedding party, half of the women, I've been in their weddings and they've covered it for me. And I'm in a financial position where I'm able to save the money to do so. So it's something that I'm choosing to cover. It's a lot because I have a lot of bridesmaids, but it's something that I'm choosing to cover. Okay, then I think that we may be it. I know I have one more hexagon here, but I want to wait because I don't really know how I want to use it yet. So we're just going to give myself the opportunity to kind of change things up throughout the month or add more. Now, because these pages are a little bit plain, I'm going to just add a highlight to this and make them a little bit more dressed up. This may be, oops, oh, that was so messy. This may end up being one of my longest videos. I had a whole plan this morning on filming 3 or 4 videos, and this is the first one, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do others, but that's okay. This is always a really important video for me. And I know it got a little bit confusing with the printables versus the planner versus all of that. But I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you'll stick around as we do more budget videos in or prepping or for 2026. I would anticipate, don't hold me to this, but my January budget setup video probably won't go live until January. I'll do it in December so that I'm prepared once January starts. But between 2026 setup and 2025 wrap up videos, I just don't have a ton of room on my channel for other things yet. So I think, or other things in December. So it's possible that you won't see that video until January, but I do plan on getting back to the old school videos that I would do where I'm sharing with you like my actual budget and how I break all that down. Okay, let's get this back in the planner. So we're going to put these in here. And I think we have finished my 2026 budget planner setup. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll be kind with some of the mistakes and issues that I had filming it. Everything that I used today, I will link in the description of the video. So as always, if you're shopping, using my links is helpful. I am going to create a coupon code, 20% off my Etsy shop. I'm going to write this down, the code down, so I don't forget. And the code is going to be 2026 savings, all one word. And that will give you, you know what? Let's say 30% off. 30% off everything in my Etsy shop. No expiration date. So whether you're watching this video when it goes live or whether you're watching this video a year from now, 2026 savings for 30% off will be good. So thank you so much for watching and for your support. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.